representing Alpha X. He is the Blue Protoss player. I mean, an absolute legend of North American StarCraft. Mix Angel, Astrea.
And his opponent spawning up into the top right, representing formerly Team Exxon, but now Psystorm Gaming. It is Nina. Nimble Nina, the micro ballerina.
Ooh, steadfast. I like that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about PvP first of all. It is a very strange matchup in that there is kind of some coin flippy elements. It's less like that than ever before, I think. North American PvP has traditionally been, my experiences, absolutely batshit insane. Yep. It's a surprising series when there is a map where buildings stay at home. So far, though, we do have 2 low ground, 1 gate cyber builds. Neither player going for that 2 gateway. Both players, of course, going to be blocking, making sure that the Nexus can't go down too quickly. And it's all very normal across the board.
Yeah. So this is a build that MaxPax was the one to revolutionize and was the first one to do it. The low ground gateway, and what ends up happening when both players have gone low ground gateway, which you can on Oxide because of the ramp. Yeah. You end up with this funny situation where both players, instead of going the 2-gate opener, they both end up basically going 1-gate tech. Now, in this scenario, what usually ends up happening is you usually have a pro block with a pylon, you usually have the probe building a pylon and blocking that nexus, but neither player went for that. So throw what I was about to say out the window. Both players are kind of evolving a little bit with the meta here. A lot of times it'll be a pylon, then a cyber core, then maybe even a rebuilt pylon. But here we're actually seeing both players allowing each other to do this nexus, and they both open up sentry for that early hallucination scout.
Yeah, and Astrea actually losing his probe early as well. Nina was able to send hers home. I do like the sentry nice and early here. Of course, it does mean you get that extra information. Now, Nina did make the Zealot, which means she's going to be supply blocked for just a moment. She'll break that shortly. Meanwhile, Astrea didn't make that, so his supply block was shorter, meaning his shield battery is coming up a little bit quicker, but all in all, it's very, very, very even right now. Worker count even. There's that 1 extra unit from Nina, but that's really the only difference here. Of course, Astrea lost the probe, so kind of making the Zealot made a lot of sense at this point. Nina is looking for proxies here, making sure there is no Stargate, no single gateway if we're talking about MaxPax builds that could be out on the map here. And here come those first hallucinations. Tech going to be the same for both of our players here, Steadfast. Twilight Councils across the board.
Yeah, it is a little bit faster for Astrea, which is nice, but the main one to look for is that Forge right here that just started on up. Now, this is really, of course, upgrade timing is insanely important in PvP.
Yeah.
This is really interesting that Astrea skipped the Zealot and that Nina allowed him to. Because it is very, very common to go for that pro block. Like, I am very surprised that Astrea was able to make that happen. And even goes for a 3rd sentry now to get just a ton of hallucinations. He's going to have so much hallucination energy and going to be able to permanently scout his opponent.
Yeah, it makes anything like a Dark Shrine nearly impossible at this point. When you see that many sentries, you're like, okay, unless I have buildings hidden on the map, I'm not going to hide anything. He's going to be constantly observing my base. He's going to see all of my timing. So both players are really just playing it kind of down the middle. Very, very standard. Nina needs to start her +1 ASAP. 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 Maybe waiting for the Phoenix. It's a big timing window at this point now with 25% as it has not started. We have a fight in the middle of the map though. Nina focusing on that. She gets 1, maybe even 2 adepts here. No, just the 1. The adept not going to get in as the wall does go down. Very nice. Nina still hasn't started +1 though, Steadfast. And we're getting closer and closer to like the halfway point here for Astrea. There we go. So this is potentially a window here for Max Angel. Nina though doing a good job of creating pressure on the other side of the map. She's going to get this pylon.
Yeah, this is a pretty nice find. Going to slow down her opponent's 3rd base. The important thing about this +1 timing is that Astrea saw that +1 was not started when his +1 was already at least 30 seconds in.
At least.
That is a big timing, and if he pours in some Chrono Boost, I would really like to see him utilize this and try and go for maybe a little something. He does have 4 gateways up and all finished up, so he can warp in a fair number of units. And I think we're going to see him go for it. Yeah, we've got 3 more Stalkers warping in somewhere. Yeah. The natural?
Yes. The natural, yes. Yeah, the third right now is being pushed back. I think one Zealot went down. It was the initial Zealot that was running around. He got a few swipes off, but ultimately does fall. And both players crossing each other on the map right now. This is kind of a weird position where it's going to be, one of them will probably have to recall, or we go into a base race, in which I'd say Astrea would probably be favored here. Third base from Astrea is only about halfway done. The pylon's going to be taken down. That is not going to support Astrea, but it puts them a lot bloody closer to it. The second pylon goes down too, will be not cancelled there, actually killed. And we are seeing a strange scenario. I think they're just going to trade thirds and probably recall.
So, funnily enough, because Astrea's Nexus was later, he gets to cancel his, which means that that's a better scenario for him. And yeah, he does get the cancel there, did not lose those minerals. And wow, they're both committing. Oh my god, are you serious right now? Ooh, this is a neat little move from Astrea right there, pulling some probes with that. But, I mean, all that's doing is buying time. And Nina's actually warping in a lot of stalkers on the other side of the map. She does have a significant army potential lead because she has 6 gateways to 4. Yeah, she went up to 4 additional gateways during all that.
Yeah, +1 finish as well for Nina as well, so that disadvantage is gone. Both players have now fallen back here. We do see Astrea has been the first one to bite and go for robo units. He has the Immortal. He doesn't have a Prism just yet. Nina's going to have that first, and Nina now moving out. This is scouted. Nice pick up there from the hallucination. But Nina is in a decent spot. Oh, I like this from Astrea. What do you think about this, Steadfast?
Well, he needs that third base up, and that is a really great way to try and get it. As we can see, Nina checking on that third base location, sees that it's not started yet, and she's going to think that there's no third base at all, but no, there is. And that would be a reasonably natural location for a fourth. Ooh, this is a nice observer from Astrea. Going to spot Nina's observer, but she will turn it around. Very good attention to detail, paying attention there from Nina.
So Nina right now must be thinking, okay, I'm either in a great spot, he doesn't have a third, or what is he doing? Because she's not seen like a lot of units. She sees a couple of Immortals, but she's not seen a Prism or anything just yet, so that's slightly unusual. I'm curious as to whether she's going to send, yeah, she's sending a Zealot. Look, he's going to run around and check, I think. Eventually, we'll see. Nina's third base will finish up slightly quicker, but there's not a lot in it. I'm concerned, though, about the lack of Immortals here for Nina. She doesn't have any more Stalkers either. Oh, she does have 1 Immortal now, just popping out. It is difficult to push in here, though. Of course, Defender's advantage with shield batteries, force fields with this rocky area as well. It means Nina shouldn't be under too much pressure here, as long as she makes no mistakes. That Zealot has been caught as well. A few Stalkers going to deal with these Adepts, which are going to shade into the natural. One will get in and manage to take away a couple of workers here. Probably just 1 or 2. But it's a very even game right now.
Yeah, no, it is. I don't think Astrea wants to push in here. The thing is, Nina thinks that he is all in because of the third base. So he doesn't need to push in, and in fact, he shouldn't. And, well, some force fields will come down, a little bit of a skirmish. Not much going to really happen there.
Yeah, she's looking.
Have some stalkers moving out. Did they spot the fourth?
No, she hasn't seen it at all, but I think because Astrea was playing so passively, he can't be all in, right? You can't play all in that way. You have to go. You have to throw it all at the wall. She didn't see it. Oh my god, she didn't see it. Oh, she sees a probe moving though. She knows, because she stopped.
Okay, she sees it. Oof. And she blinks away in time to save her stalkers. Yeah, now, we may see her get... Oh, Astrea with a beautiful little maneuver right there to cut off one of the stalkers, does take it out.
Now Astrea's going to take this, Nina's going to take this opportunity in the middle of the map to close in and actually get into the natural. She could get on top of the Robo and the other production facilities here. Going to blink forward and power this gateway, the Cybercore and the Robo. Now she's a little bit out of position. If she can get some good force fields there and trap some of these Stalkers early, Nina's got a good opportunity. Some Stalkers not yet fighting. Going to fall back just a little bit. There is a Prism loaded up for Astrea at the east side here. But I like the moves Nina's making there. She's now earned a site supply lead. She's up in workers. She's getting disruptors. And that's going to be a lot quicker than Astrea.
Yeah, she just killed off 4 stalkers and only lost a single sentry. Ooh, this one Immortal left hanging a little bit. Nina is not... Oh, she is going to jump in on top of it. She's going to take out a few of the sentries, too, and gets 2 Immortals. This is amazing for Nina.
Yeah, and Nina is now fighting up a ramp though, and that makes things a little bit tricky. She doesn't have any Archons or any Zealots here to really buff her. So these Stalkers that are kind of low, they're kind of low, you know? They are very vulnerable. Half of Nina's army currently not fighting the actual forces, but she still has pretty much an overwhelming number. If she gets the Cybercore, that's no more Stalkers here, Steadfast. Or Stalkers running in on the flank, they do get caught here. But that might mean a blink up onto the last Immortal. No, not going to be the case. Zealots charging in, but Nina's doing a great job microing this.
Yeah, this is fantastic. She's got 2 Immortals in there, adding on so much DPS. She's going to blink in, takes out the Immortal, takes out the Archon, and she is just way too far ahead right now. Astrea does try and cut off some reinforcements, but a Disruptor shot from the side will come in, takes out a few of those units, and Nina, she is fighting back in this series, taking game number 1.
I mean, that's how you play, right? That was incredibly well done. We had a very even game down the middle. Astrea got that cheeky third base up and kind of played some mind games, but it didn't work in the end. Nina was able to scout it. She had her own third base, so it wasn't the end of the world. And she didn't overreact and throw down 10 batteries, you know? She kind of dealt with it. She moved in with her game. And then when the fights came, she was catching Stalkers more than she was losing Stalkers. She kept her Immortals alive, like, considerably longer throughout the fight than Astrea did. And that was a great way to win map 1.
Yeah, that was really, really solid out of Nina. She played a really, really clean, impressive game. Now, like we said going into it, she was in a tough position in this group. So this is kind of a must-win for her. So she's showing up when is needed most. And I was saying before, like, yeah, I think she can take down Astrea potentially, but Astrea is really freaking good. Yeah. And her taking this game number 1 in an even macro game, this bodes very, very well for her chances of actually making it out of this group.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, Steadfast. Now, one thing I will say is that I got to cast earlier in the week the greatest player to ever live taking on Astrea, and that was, of course, M. Canning. Muck Canning, as Todd would say. And in that series, M. Canning took map 1, Astrea adapted, he adjusted, and then map 2 and map 3 were all Astrea. So it could just be maybe, you know, Astrea's just woken up, he's not quite there yet, you know, his caffeine hasn't kicked in, he's a little tired, his fingers are a bit achy, but now he's stretched them. Now we move into map 2, which will be Jagannatha for those interested, which is just quite a long map. It's a pretty good map for Stargate play, in my opinion, or proxies too. There's a lot of hiding places on Jagannatha. I wouldn't be surprised to see Astrea kind of play a little bit more solidly. It's just kind of, I do feel he's a slow starter, but I can't wait. Nina now ready. Just make sure Astrea is ready, and then we'll be hopping into our second map.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do think you're right about the proxies. A lot of options for proxy locations. Something else is this used to be a very, very common cannon rush map. And there is a really, really good spot at the natural where you can build a pylon. And you basically guarantee that the cannons are going to get up as long as you execute correctly. And it's very easy to execute for these players.
Don't get me excited. Don't get my heart full and prepared for the best build ever to exist for it not to happen. Because I'll cry, Steadfast. I'll do it on camera in front of, I don't know how many people are here. Like a fair few, like a few hundred people are here right now. I will cry because cannon rushing is my favorite thing in the universe. That isn't McCanning.
It really is. It really is exciting to watch, especially in PvP. And I honestly think I don't think we'll see it on this map. They're not doing it. Yeah, no chrono boost.
No chrono boost.
And well, here we go. Spawning up in the top right of Jagannatha, representing Psystorm Gaming. It is Nina.
And her opponent in the bottom left, representing Alpha X. He is the Blue Protoss player from North America. It is Astrea. I mean, technically, everyone's from North America. You're from North America, technically, right?
Technically.
That's too confusing for me. Nope. Okay. Everything looking normal. No low ground expansions here. You don't like to do that if there is no ramp, especially if your wall is, like, this wide. Like, it's as wide as my jeans, you know? It takes a lot to fill that area up. Gateways up on the high ground. Probably see second gateways follow pretty shortly. And now we come into the possibility of what the first couple of units are out of the gateways, and also if it is tech before expand. Nina actually going to go for a scout here. She's not going to see anything too funky. She will probably drop a pylon or keep the probe around to see what the first couple of units are. It's very important to know. See how many workers are in gas as well. Of course, we have 2 and 1 and 1 and 1. So actually, Nina mining a lot less gas here. Might be going for an expansion much quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does have a funny tendency of oversaturating her minerals a little bit, and like making sure that the probes are triple stacked to try and get, you know, just a little bit more going.
Both pylons, second pylons going down at home. No shenanigans just yet. North America letting me down. I love it when that second pylon is hidden somewhere. I must say, now, I make a little bit of jokes about your region from time to time, Steadfast. I'm sorry. But in terms of specifically your Protoss players, from what I've seen, they've been playing really well in standard games. Canning has been incredible. Astrea, if he gets the Stalker Disruptor, is just unreal. And also the timings they hit are just completely devastating. I think like your top Protosses are pretty good right now. We can see Double Stalker from Nina and Stalker Sentry, the safest opening here from Astrea.
Yeah, of course, going to be able to get that early Hallucination Scout. A Chrono Boost going into the Warp Gate here is a little funny from Astrea. I don't necessarily think that's going to be for anything, but it is worth noting. We do see that pylon coming down from Astrea that you mentioned to... well, you mentioned that Nina might have gone for it, but it was Astrea that did go for it. And it looks like it is going to be a delay on the third unit. Just a Sentry coming out in order to get that quicker expand. Yeah, there we go. Stalker comes out after the Nexus starts up for Nina. So just a nice little optimization from Nina to get a quicker Nexus.
Unfortunately for this probe, I think his time on this planet may be not. It dies. We do see the first Hallucinated Phoenix from Astrea, as he did open with Sentry going to fly in. That gives Nina a little bit of information that there's not a whole bunch of, you know, Stalkers or any Adepts on the map just yet, or at least very few. Speed Zone here, working out. Actually, Nina could lose the Stalker. Ooh, very, very low. Could be a little scary. Both players surveying the land. We see the Twilight Council coming down here from Astrea. Again, a very standard opening. Both players going for that Twilight Council. Quicker Forge here for Nina. Off the back of that slightly faster Nexus. And in terms of units, pretty even across the board. Lots of sentries for Astrea again, though. And hello.
I was just going to say, this is for one of two things right here. It is either for a slow weapon of Adepts, which I really like if you're playing a macro game, or it's for a Proxy Dark Shrine.
That's right.
And never mind. There might go my hopes and dreams returning home. It's going to be for slow weapon Adepts, but that's still good. I still like that.
Instantly seen. That's not good.
You are just too good.
Yeah, that is.
This is a slow warp in. That's almost going to kill the Adept before it even warps in.
Instant recall.
Oh, she recalls early. Oh, no.
Not nice here for Nina. A little bit of a mistake there. Forge is done. Nina's Forge was quicker, but she actually hasn't started the upgrade because she went for those warpings instead. So it ends up backfiring in that. Luckily for her, the upgrade difference is like 5 seconds ish, maybe 10 max. And it's very hard to hit a timing within that window. Anything below 20 is pretty bonkers. Nexus coming down. Very quick third Nexus here from Astrea.
Yeah, much quicker than the previous game where he went for those couple of extra gates. Going to be going for a robotics facility here behind this. If you want to play greedy in a PvP, you will skip that robotics facility and just try and pump out pure Blink Stalkers. Nina loves doing that because she loves her Blink Stalkers, as we saw in the previous game.
Yeah.
And of course, it does expose you a little bit to DTs, but against a player that you feel like maybe on paper they think they're better than you, or you think they're a little bit better than you are, this is a great way to try and cut some corners.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cutting corners too. I like it in a matchup where, as you said, you maybe feel slightly like you might not be the favorite. And we saw what Nina could do in game one with those Blink Stalkers. She's had a lot of hallucinations coming out as well. She has seen the Twilight Council and also seen that it has been wearing away continuously. She's seen the state of the army. She's seen how many sentries there were. I feel like if you see 3 sentries, you're pretty confident it's not DT early, because that's a lot of gas investment. And keeping an eye on the gas, guys, as you can see that there is still only 3, none taken on the third even. So yeah, I'd say we're in a pretty even position so far. In terms of Stalker count, it's very close. Sentry count is the same. Nina has that 1 extra Adept, which she's not really using aggressively or for scouting just yet. Phoenix is going to see the entire army. And our first, courtesy of Astrea, coming in right now.
Well, I think Nina is going to get very, very aggressive right here. Okay, I thought she was going to go for a Warp Prism first, because she cut probes a little bit to get out a lot of production. She's going up to 7 gateways right now. And, 8 gateways? 7 or 8.
It's going to be a blink in the
We're going
main.
to be seeing it warping into the main base right here. Or sorry,
Yeah.
a blink into the main base. And this is going to be a lot of production getting deep.
Oh, he blinked.
Oh, that's not ideal.
No, he
Okay,
kind of...
he's going to give up the eye. Yeah, okay, never mind. He's not even going to try. So he gets spotted right there, and he takes a very safe decision. Oh, that's a lot of force fields that did nothing.
And the Guardian Shield as well coming out here from Nina. That's a lot of energy on sentries, and she only has 4 right now. Only one of them with a good chunk of energy left over. Both players are working on charge. We have more and more observers coming out for Nina right now. She had one and I believe instantly lost it. So wants to get that back up as soon as possible. Astrea, on the other hand, opting for that quicker Twilight Templar Archives. I always get those names confused. Wants to move up into Archons again. In the last game, this did leave him a little bit vulnerable to being blunked on because he didn't have as many Stalkers. But I do think if he can sit back and keep his army together and not get it split up this time, he should be in a better scenario. But once again, we have a very, very, very even game. My one concern, though, Nina's just started +2.
Yeah, that's a really, really unfortunate thing. Something else is that Astrea went straight up to a 4th base off 4 gateways and added on the production. He is now going up to 10 gateways, and he's going to have that Nexus pumping. Yeah, do you know how quickly you can build 12 probes off 4 Nexi? If you chrono boost everything, you can get it out in like 24 seconds.
Yeah, I knew that.
26.
You were wrong. See, I was testing you. Nice scout here from Astrea with that probe. He is going to see that the 4th was attempting to be taken, and he knows his is considerably ahead as it is just now completing. We have this prism over on the east for Astrea. This hasn't been seen, actually, and I'd like Nina, especially on Jaganata, having a spotter pylon here down just south of the main could be very, very good. Hearthstone does that a lot, and I really am a big fan of it. You lose a pylon, sure, but you stop a drop, and that means, I mean, the Forge is so vulnerable to drops in this position. Nina does have 1 Stalker in the main. Maybe has a feeling this could be happening, but she's really unprepared for a big committed drop right now.
Yeah, she doesn't even have the pylon on the very bottom of her main. There's actually a spot where you could warp in like 7-8 zealots, and it just would not get spotted. Now, Nina, look at this. She's adding on 2 additional robotics facilities and a robotics bay. This is going to be triple robo disruptor. This is, you talk about NA memes. This is an NA meme to the max.
And I love it. Now, upgrades are considerably behind, as we said. Astrea has been very passive with this prism. He wants to wait until he has his army out in a more aggressive position. I wouldn't be surprised to go in to see it go in shortly now that the army has shown it the other side of the map. We are seeing zealots fighting here. Astrea will lose. Just kidding. As the Stalker comes to reinforce. But Astrea's army is scary, man. There's a lot of zealots right now. They both have 17, but the Archon's adding a big, big bulk. And there is no tier 2 tech. And here we go. That prism coming in now. There is a cannon. Some warpings coming in here for Astrea and Nina.
Other side of the map, we see Nina going in for this huge attack. She's going to find the army out of position a little bit, but she is not paying attention right now. And now her Stalkers are going to get force fielded off. Well, yeah, this is not ideal. She's going to lose a lot of zealots right there and a lot of supply. She did also lose 13 probes on the other side of the map. This is devastating, actually.
I have no idea how Nina only killed 5 workers there. I guess she didn't hold position as zealots, because this mineral line, there was like 8-9 zealots in it, and they were just running around in circles because they were kind of messed up by the AI and the force fields. If she'd have held position, she would have killed nearly every probe, and it would have been a lot more of an even trade. But now, Astrea, as I kind of hinted at before the game, he's just playing a little bit cleaner in game 2. Disruptor's still very scary, especially when they can take down 3/4 of the shields off of an Archon immediately. That's going to take a little bit of the oomph out of this attack, but the counterattack, the run-by of Zealots in the top left, that's going to kill the Nexus.
Yeah, that is a straight-up dead Nexus, and that's really good. Those are +3 Zealots, by the way, so Astrea has this upgrade lead now, and Nina still hasn't started up her +3 attack. I'd love to see Astrea just go up into +1 shields. Okay, there we go. They're really making me a liar on.
I know. They always do it.
Frame perfect on that one. I would love to see Astrea go. Oh, there we go. +1 shields. And get even a second Forge. Skillis has started going for this double upgrade setup. He gets the second Forge a lot earlier, but it is really good, and it actually makes it so that, like, all of your very fighty units, all of your gateway man units, so to speak, become incredibly strong.
Yeah.
Have you seen Blink DTs with 3-3-2 or 3-3-3?
Oh, yeah, just a couple of times. I play a lot of 4v4 Steadfast. Of course I have. I've also seen one base mothership. Okay, Nina finally adding on her Templar Archives. That is coming in, of course, quite late here. Her +3 is about 1/3 of the way done. 7 High Templars immediately. Gonna just dump that gas in and get a good few Archons into the fray. Should be seeing, yep, there we go, 3 of them. And that last one will also be joined by a friend. So Nina's army is still strong. She completely threw away all of her zealots. She has 14 up here, so she didn't throw away all of them. I'm just completely wrong with that point, but ignore me. So she still has these 14 zealots. She's joined them with a small force here to deal with this possible push. And this is where PvP for me gets interesting, when the armies are split. When DTs start getting added to the fray, which is something we can expect in not too long. Oh, nice purification over from Nina, using that speed zone. Oh, gosh.
Oh, almost clipped herself. On the other side, we do have this attack coming in. Meanwhile, Guardian Shield going to help out a lot for Astrea. Nina will disengage from the main army fight. Doesn't want to get disrupted while this is all going on. Nice battery overcharge did help there. Oh, wow, big way forward from Astrea. Oh, no, not the play at all, and he eats 2 massive disruptor shots in a row.
Yeah, no, it does look like Astrea is going to win up on the front here. This is actually an overwhelming win next to this space. So Astrea is going to win this, but Nina right now has a very strong army. Oh, she loses a few to a purification over, but she's managing to chase this down. Fights on both fronts that are very scrappy, very, very massive. Now, we can see here, actually Astrea even has more disruptors. He's just been producing very well. God, big purification over on all the sentries. That's so much utility taken away from this force, and I think Astrea is just winning this way too hard.
Yeah, that didn't just kill the sentries. That killed every disruptor for Nina. And she just completely got, pulled apart. Her wings clipped in that game number 2. And you mentioned it. Astrea just looked cleaner. And what do you think Nina has to do to get for going into game number 3 to try and rectify that?
It rhymes with Bannon Drush. No. I think Nina, she's still playing very well throughout this series. She made some mistakes there, certainly. Like losing the 4th base up in the northwest was not ideal. It was something she couldn't afford to do as Astrea had hers. I think if she can clean up her defense against run-bys, and I felt for the first of the final 2 minutes, the first part of that, she had the better disruptor control. And I mean, the other thing is Nina very well known for going Colossus in this matchup, so maybe she goes back to what she's more comfortable with. It's not standard, but she has been doing it this event, so... Or just play Stargate.
Honestly, that's pretty surprising to me, because whenever I think of Nina, I think of, you give her a Disruptor Blink Stalker, and she can make miracles happen. And I mean, it didn't unfortunately work out for her in that previous game, but at the beginning, it was looking really, really good. And that's the beauty of it with Blink Stalker Disruptor. Even if you are down, 30, 40 supply, if you can control much better than your opponent, you can oftentimes make miracles happen. And honestly, if Astrea had not won that fight on the top left, I think Nina probably starts clawing that back, because the reason she took such big disruptor shots in the middle was because she felt frantic, she felt pressured, she felt like she needed to win the game, and she absolutely did. Yes. But Astrea was just ready for her.
I'm completely with you there, Steadfast. Now, we move on to our 3rd map. It is going to be Romanticide. Shorter rush distance here on this map, but very wide. Lots and lots of room to hide. And once you get to 4 bases, it can be it's not too bad to hold them. Let's get into it and introduce our players, because in the top left, representing Storm Gaming, ignore the tag and this little spinny logo. They don't exist anymore. It is the Red Protoss player, Nina.
And her opponent, spawning down in the bottom right, representing Alpha X, it is Astrea, Max Angel.
Name of a porn star, performance of a god gamer. Can I say that? Nah, why not?
I'm sure, why not? I'm not going to stop you.
I do what I want. No, I'm always in trouble anyway, so I just lean into it. Okay, high ground expansion, or high ground gateways even once again here. Any map where there's no ramp or a very wide ramp, as we said, a very wide entrance to your natural, it's very difficult to go for a low ground expansion, because 2 adepts just run by and then kill your main. Or, you can just get proxy 3rd gated and it's impossible to hold.
And proxy Stargate, proxy Void.
It's just too difficult.
There's a lot of things that make that very complicated. The only player who I can see consistently hold it is MaxPax.
Yeah, but he's a whole special form of young Danish superstar. And anything, he doesn't do anything that makes sense, and then it all works. So, okay, Cybercore's coming down. A very standard opening here. And I'm curious. I mean, I'm very surprised neither player has done anything at all really cheeky in this series. There's been no hidden tech, no, you know, craziness, not even any Stargates yet. It's all been very down the middle, Blink into Disruptor. Both players very strong in that. And if all goes, I guess, as these players want, I wouldn't be surprised to see that again. But right now it's the calm before the storm, Steadfast.
Yeah, it certainly is. It will come down to, I mean, there's a lot of mid-game before we get to Disruptors. Yeah. Once again, we are going to be seeing Astrea going for that Stalker Sentry. Double Stalker coming out of Nina. I would say this is reflective of their playstyles.
Yes.
Nina loves being aggressive, loves controlling very maneuverable units like Stalkers. Astrea wants as much information as he can get. He wants to do the safer thing. And he's even going to go second and third Sentry. Yeah. Oh, never mind. He cancels this. Okay, no, he canceled it to start a pylon, and then he will rebuild it. Will he?
Supply blocks because of the pylon, but yes,
okay,
it is.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's actually a pretty... That's a pretty bad supply block. Oh, yeah. That's a brutal supply block, actually.
The old 31 supply block. I'm very familiar with it. Nina does have 4 in gas right now. This is my biggest pet peeve in StarCraft. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. I don't know why it really upsets me.
It bothers me too.
I know. I tell this story often when I do these events, but there was a game many years ago at a Home Story Cup where Stefano fixed it. Played Bling, and he went into Scout, saw it, and then typed in chat, "You have 4 workers in gas." And I was like, that is how you get in an opponent's head. Telling them a mistake they're making during the game that you see and they don't, even though you see, they only saw for a second. That was peak Stefano for me. Sentry's now coming in for Nina. Hallucination going to come in. She now knows that she's playing against an early Sentry once again. Nexus is down for both. Finish for Astrea. Nina's much, much later here, as she made a whole bunch of units.
Yeah, and Astrea. Oh, wow, Nina. Oh, my God, are you serious? She's going to take a third Nexus right now. That
is early.
Before she's got 2 Nexus in the production tab right now. This is wild. Earlier than a PVZ Nexus off Stargate.
Yes, yeah, that comes at 410, right? So
it's 350 is the Zest timing.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I said anyway.
This was 345, 340. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to be quite vulnerable here. Things like the Blink is going to be considerably later. Of course, the Forge is done for Astrea, and his +1 will be starting, whereas Nina's Forge is only halfway done. Hiccup. We have a few Stalkers here. If they could get a Sentry, that would be nice. This is likely to be scouted very quickly from Astrea. He does have this hallucination that is now going to fly in. If it dies early, that would be cool, but Sentries only have the Tickle Cannon. They don't do a lot of DPS. A couple of Stalkers being warped into. Yeah, at this point, I think he knows. Okay, cool. Big scout there from Astrea. Does get to see that the Nexus is on the way. He will probably throw down his as a response, knowing it's a little late. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Chrono into things like upgrades. And that's exactly where it's going, into Blink and into upgrades. I think we're going to see a pretty aggressive Astrea here, Steadfast.
Yeah, we'll have to see depending on what the gateway timing is. He is sending out a probe, which I wouldn't mind to see actually a proxy, definitely a proxy pylon, maybe even a proxy gateway to get those fast warp-ins. But I don't feel like it's the best thing to even try and punish this. I think you just... Oh, wait, never mind. Astrea, he has not actually built his third Nexus yet.
No. But he's not building 2 gates
there. Oh, this might very well be a fake.
Yeah. This is surprising. We now see it go down just as it's scouted, but he's actually out on the map right now. Astrea has a very hefty army. He is down in army supply slightly. Actually, the armies are very similar. There is no battery here yet, and that will be immediately cancelled, I imagine. Astrea should go for that one. He's actually not going to be able to get to it on time, meaning the battery's going to have a time to complete, and now we should see some blinks coming in. Both of these players very good. Nina's blink isn't done.
No, it is not, but the Guardian Shield does get caught on the wrong side, which is good for Nina. However, she is in a lot of trouble right now. Blink is about to finish up. There we go. Battery overcharge does get popped, and that is going to allow Nina to survive right here in time for her Blink. +1 attack, though, is going to finish up for Astrea, which will give him a big advantage in this fight. Now, Nina is building 3 probes at a time, so if she can just hold right here, she will be in a very, very good spot.
Yeah, I mean, but if is the big thing. Now, a lot of these Stalkers for Astrea are kind of low. The Zealot is doing a good job of tanking up a lot of damage. One Stalker goes down, Sentry goes down. That's a key unit. No more Guardian Shield. No more, although Force Fields have lost some value, but no more Guardian Shield. No more hallucinations from a proxy position to get into the main or something like that, something weird. And Nina right now, she's getting stronger and stronger. Super Battery is already 3/4 of the way back up. And once that comes up, this push dies. I think Nina's held on quite nicely here. And she's now up 4 workers. She's going to fully saturate that. Meanwhile, Astrea is mining from his third. No gas geysers on it yet. Nina's supply block though.
Adepts into the natural.
Ooh.
Oh, nice move from Astrea. He's going to try and multi-prong this. We'll grab several probes.
And a pylon?
And gonna get a pylon as well. Oh, Nina, nice job. Pulls back those sentries, keeps them alive, and blinks to keep her units alive. Very, very well done from Nina. This is... she is down in that upgrade timing, which is not ideal, and I like Astrea's response to go for the 4th Nexus here.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think I would have preferred that as the initial response. I think I would have preferred that instead of even going for the timing. Nina got that so early, and she was able to set it up so early, her 3rd base. I don't even like the concept of trying to punish it. I think you just go counter greed yourself. And you mentioned earlier, losing those sentries was actually really, really unfortunate for Astrea, because now he doesn't get to hallucinate Scout at all.
Yeah. Charge on the way now for both. It is going to finish for Astrea. Astrea is further ahead in his tech generally, and even has a few more workers now. He's really been able to pump out some greed off of the back of this, playing like a Zerg, just like workers, no workers. It's quite cool to see how he's able to play it this way. Nina's 4th still hasn't started. She's been scouting with hallucinations. She still has 3 Phoenixes, but she hasn't scouted this 4th at all, and I think that's gonna come in, and end up biting her in the ass, because she's really struggling right now to keep up in terms of income. If we take a look, we can see Astrea's mining 700 more minerals a minute. Nina has a little bit more gas because she added those gas geysers on her 3rd quicker, but this is scary. Nina is still shaping up to be intimidating. Her +2 will be done by the time a fight is to kick in, but pushing into super batteries, plus this many zealots, immortal, Archon, it's a difficult challenge here for Nina.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We are going to see Adepts shading on into the 3rd base. They are going to get... well, a cannon does deal with them pretty well. There we go. Charge, +2 attack, finally finishing up. The Templar Archives finish up as well, so Archon's going to morph in. But like you said, I don't like the concept of pushing in here from Nina. There's the potential of a super battery. There's a large army for her opponent. She is really going all for broke. This is a great observer, by the way. Spots the entire army.
I mean, I really thought Astrea had the possibility of saving it too, but look at the concave he's been able to set up, and now he's going to try and bait some of this army, see if he can pick off a zealot or two nice and early. And now Nina's pushing up a ramp. Look at the surround that these zealots are going to be able to get. The Archons in the back for Nina are not in the fight. Nina needs to fall back, get her army together, get the stronger, tankier units in the front so the Stalkers can do more in the back. These Archons have just not got a single volley off of yet, and this is scary because Nina still has no 4th Nexus.
Yeah, this is an all-in from Nina, and it's weird to say because she's on 3 bases, but she hasn't been building probes, she hasn't been doing anything. No. She will get a decent position on this 3rd base. Nice force fields, but the Archon's there to break the force. However, the Zealots are caught in a pretty bad concave for Astrea. They get kind of caught in the front, pinched off, but is it a good enough fight for Nina? I don't think so. No. Astrea just had so much eco.
Yeah, now the Zealots for Astrea have started to vanish. Nina has also lost all of hers, trying to reinforce with a few more here. But the Archon count and the Immortal count is still decent here for Astrea. He's still got 4 Archons. That's a very, very strong number to deal with things like the Zealots. Even Stalkers that walk too far forward are dealt with by Archons relatively well. Astrea did lose some workers, but he's still up 11. Nina is going to try and macro out the back of this, but I'm not sure it's going to be the easiest thing that she's ever done. She's getting her robotics base. She's getting her robotics facility, which is, of course, very late. But, I mean, Astrea is ahead. He's in the driver's seat. There's no +3 even started for Nina. Astrea already working on shields.
Yeah, This is really, really bad. Not only the economic situation, but as you said, the upgrade situation. A full upgrade timing ahead. And look at this. Nina going to try and once again go triple Robo Disruptor to catch up here. Observer does spot the entire army, which is a great situation. Because now Astrea knows, yeah, I can put the pressure on the other side as you try and take your fourth. Good luck with that. Wow, this is going to be a cancel easily. Meanwhile, a big attack coming in on the bottom side from Nina.
Yeah, Nina with a warping is going to get quite a bit done by the looks of things. There is defensive warpings coming in, but Nina has to hold. This is her last stand. This is her Helm's Deep. She needs to hold on here. She does have super battery, but she picked it very, very early.
Well, the Horn of Helm Hammerhand sounds a little bit too early right there. And
I don't know what that means.
The Horn... Well, you just dropped Helm
Deep. It was a stretch, like I wasn't even sure it was correct. So let's go.
No, you had it. Disruptor does hit the field, and now that there's 2 disruptors out, in fact, this actually can get a little bit dicey for Astrea. Ooh, that was not a great disruptor shot, but that one collects like 9 zealots right there. Very, very nice. Meanwhile, the Warpin in the main base is starting to pick off probes for Nina. She's going to send some stalkers to deal with that. Needs to take out the War Prison, but she is going to lose her 4th base. Potentially again. Astrea has to be careful that he doesn't eat massive disruptor shots.
Yeah, disruptor shots right now.
Those are the disruptors that Nina did have, though.
Oh, really? He killed them both? Yeah, Nina has no disruptors right now. She's producing 3 at a time, as we said earlier, but she needs them. She needs them like a minute ago because losing all those disruptors, and now she's F2'd her entire army into the main, leaving her natural relatively undefended, and that means the disruptors too. They're going to go for the Archons here, try and soften them up as much as possible. A second one about to pop, but look, the Stalkers are already on top of them. Nina's trying to change the position it pops out in. It will get a shot off onto a lot of these very, very important key units, and maybe with that shot, Nina's going to be able to defend, but it's still so close. It's going to be bloody difficult.
Yeah, she needs those disruptors out, and she needs them now. Battery overcharge helping those stalkers stay alive on the top side quite a bit. There are 3 disruptors that are so close to pop, but the pylon is going to go down to...
One more
2 of them just barely don't pop out, and that's going to be a GG's is called. And